Green Bay, 7-point dogs going into this one. What % chance do you give Green Bay of pulling the upset, Ryan?
Well, see, these percentage questions are such a setup. You know what I mean? It's like,
loaded question.
It's like doing the weather. You know what I mean? It's a 40% chance of rain, then it's sunny all day. You know what I mean? So I'm going to give them 25%. Obviously, both teams are extremely different from what they were week one. You heard Aaron Rodgers say, you know, I'm not scared of Richard Sherman. I just respect him and understand how well he can play the position, which is true. I also feel like, though, if you look at the game plan they had, they aligned Jordy Nelson to the left side of the defense, of the offense all game, to have him on Byron Maxwell and try to attack it that way. So that tells me it wasn't necessarily as much of Aaron Rodgers as it was a game plan thing to try to attack the other side. I think they'll have to do something differently because they understood by cutting off half of the field, you really hurt your offense. He only threw for 189 yards. He also had an interception going at Maxwell. So I think they'll do things differently there. Their chance to win comes with Eddie Lacy. If you remember, running downhill, they were successful until Eddie Lacy met that man, Cam Chancellor. You know what I mean?
There goes that man.
Mama, there goes that man. Open field, Cam Chancellor hits Eddie Lacy. He gets a concussion. He's not able to play anymore. Now the game changed, and it totally relied on Aaron Rodgers, who is very capable of winning the game, but it's hard to beat the Seattle Seahawks when you're one-dimensional. So for them, they have to get Eddie Lacy going. Aaron Rodgers has to be sharp, but you have to protect him. You remember last game, you know, Michael Bennett got after him and Cliff Averill. You have to give Aaron Rodgers time to throw the ball. Hopefully, you can get Jordy Nelson, you can get Randall Cobb involved. And the one thing they have now is Adams. He wasn't a guy that we knew about going into the first game of the season. Now you look at the New England game. When Revis takes away Jordy Nelson or Revis is on one guy, they're doubling another, that's who they go to. Last week against the Dallas Cowboys, that's who they go to. So hopefully you can get him going and have him matched up on the third corner to get your offense moving.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Freddie.
No, go ahead. Age before, beauty before age.
All right, let's go.
Age here.
Stop being so nice, guys.
He is the nicest.
This is not the way this show is ran.
Oh, no, we already yelled at each other.
It's not ran on niceties.
You missed the first segment.
It's about to get ugly.
I'm going to start yelling at you. Good. I'll bring it.
It's going to get ugly in a minute.
I'm going to give him 20% because Rodgers is hurt. Okay, if he was healthy, I'd probably go up to like 30, 35%. But here's the thing. It didn't work the first time when you didn't throw to Richard Sherman. You might as well try something different, okay? I mean, at some point, as Ryan said, you can't just cut off half the field. So, you know what? You got to line up guys in different spots and create opportunities for them that way. Mix things up. But here's the thing, man. That Seattle team, I don't want to sit here, and I'm not the guy that the newest thing is the greatest thing, but I haven't seen a defense play like this since the 2000 Ravens. I mean, this team, 2008
Steelers were pretty good.
Yeah, they were pretty good.
I mean, just check the numbers.
I told you to get ugly up in here.
The numbers are much better than Seattle last year. It's just numbers. He said numbers never lie. I heard Aaron Rodgers said the numbers don't lie.
That show doesn't exist anymore around here.
Well, I said the numbers never lie. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, Aaron Rodgers just said it, and I was like,
it's one of the best defenses I've ever seen. Okay, it's a top 5 defense I've ever seen, and I've been, I'm 37 years old, and I've seen a lot of defenses, good, bad, or indifferent, and they're just unbelievable. I mean, the pressure that they put on him. I think the thing with Lacy is he's big and he's bulky and he's strong, but I don't know if he's got enough giddy up to hit on. First of all, you can't go outside with him. You got to try to run it up the middle, and I think that you're running into that problem. You're running right into the teeth of that defense. Cam Chancellor and those guys are going to give him all they can give him. And I just think at the end of the day, there's just not a lot of opportunity, I think, for Green Bay to win this game. I'm going to give him 20% only because Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the league, and I think he can get hot and beat anybody on any given day. I just think Seattle's just too overwhelming defensively.
I give them 10% of winning this game.
Wow.
Seriously. I mean, you're right about the Rodgers injury. He's going to be less healthy than he was last week against Dallas, and he's not going against that Dallas defense. He's going against a Dallas defense circa the 1990s. That's what Seattle reminds me of. All those fast guys on the outside. Bobby Wagner, the minute he got back from injury, I thought he should have been more of an MVP candidate in the National Football League. As great as Cam Chancellor is, as great as Richard Sherman is, they got those big fat nasties up front led by Michael Bennett keeping people clean. But the minute Bobby Wagner got healthy, all of a sudden that defense went from, to, oh my goodness, because that guy, for my money, is the best middle linebacker in the league. Yeah. Now you got all those elements against you, and you got to go to the uptown funk known as Seattle and try to win up there. They're going to need Bruno Mars and Mark Ronson and everybody they can to try to win this ball game. Aaron Rodgers being hurt, that offensive line is not as good as the Cowboys' offensive line because that offensive line was the one offensive line that put Seattle on their back. Those 5 guys up front move that line of scrimmage. Green Bay's offensive line is good. They're not those guys. And now you got a beat-up quarterback. You hope that Eddie Lacy won't put the ball on the ground, and a very fast and motivated Seattle defense. I give them 10% chance at best to beat Seattle in Seattle.
Here's the other thing we haven't talked about. Green Bay's defense is not that good either. So, I mean, it's not like Seattle's not going to be able to move the ball on them.
Because the Cowboys moved it on them.
But this is the thing. This is the thing I feel about Green Bay. I feel like matching up defensively with the defensive backs, they can match up with the wide receivers of the Seattle Seahawks. If you look at the Seattle Seahawks, a lot of plays are created in the passing game by Russell Wilson getting out of the pocket. Russell Wilson, breaking the integrity of the defensive line and throwing the ball downfield. I feel like, Sam Shields, Tramon Williams, Micah Hyde, these guys can match up on the receivers and kind of take them out of the game. And now your front 7 or your front 8, if you bring the safety in the box, can have an opportunity to stop Marshawn Lynch, play the zone read with Russell Wilson. So I feel like defensively they actually have an advantage over the Seattle Seahawks.
Because you're talking about you don't think Seattle's offense is very good.
They don't run away from people.
No, their offense is good.
Right.
They have a good offense in the way it's ran in complement to their defense.
Right.
You know you're going to stop people. People aren't going to score a lot of points. So what are we going to do? The complement to that is ball control. Give the ball to Marshawn Lynch. Have Russell Wilson, if his first read's not there, he scrambles or he gets out of the pocket and makes throws downfield.